Hi, everyone. Welcome to Elevate Your AIQ. I am on the road at HR Tech 2025 here in Las Vegas. Today, I am having a conversation with Laura Maffucci from GP. How you doing today, Laura?
Good, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing great. I thought kick things off with you just giving a brief introduction of yourself, your background, and your role at GP.
Sure. I am head of HR for GP. Been there about 4.5 years. Been in HR like 30 years, aging myself, scary. But I've had the opportunity to work across a lot of different industries, everything from services to tech to CPG companies. So diverse background there. But I came up on the compensation and HR total rewards side of the world. Came to GP, and it's just been wonderful opportunity there. And it's just been really fun to work at a company where HR is their product too. So you get to do more than just your job. You get to really be in there with the business. And so good stuff.
Excellent. So you are customer zero
We are customer zero. Yeah.
No, that's great.
Yeah.
I have a background in enterprise technology, so at IBM in particular, it was always let's drink our own champagne and we'll work the kinks out before we deliver it to customers.
Very
So,
good.
yeah. So some exciting things going on in the world of
Yeah.
AI at GP. I thought you could just give the listeners a little bit of color on
Sure.
on GIA and everything you're doing in the agentic
Yes.
space.
So today we launched GIA, which is the first agentic purpose-built AI for global employment, all things global employment, in over 50 states and over 50 countries, different languages. It's actually far more than 50 countries, I'm sorry. And it's just a phenomenal product. It's built on our over a decade of experience with global employment. We invented the EOR industry. We're the leaders in the space. So we have all of that knowledge that we've gained over the years. We have our in-house experts, our employment lawyers, our HR specialists on the ground in all the countries. So everything is built on that solid foundation of compliance and just cutting edge technology in the agentic space, a lot of reasoning built into the modeling to try to work out those hallucinations so that
Sure.
we've got the accurate, but it's accurate data that you can trust. We verify everything that we can. If you see the little GP verified badge when you're using GIA, that means our in-house legal experts and HR experts have reviewed it. There's citations on everything. You know, as it's evolved from when we first started building it and we've gone through the beta, it's been amazing to see how it's really expanded from being so much about, oh, I'm going to go in, I'm going to ask about, what are the leave policies in Germany that I have to apply. And now it's actually doing things that can really help your day to day in HR. It has everything from interview scripts that it can do for you to producing FAQs for policies or programs. It generates contracts. You can upload all of your policies for your organization. It will review it and tell you where you need to make updates for compliance. It can do those regular checks for you. It can look at existing contracts that you have. It's really incredible. And it's just going to keep getting better from there.
Wow, that's really exciting. The compliance space is interesting to me because I think about it from an overarching responsible AI perspective. And I think the foundation between, like you said, the trusted data, in addition to the, the core of governance, risk, compliance, that's already, a part of your team, I think is such a solid foundation with which to build upon.
Yeah, it's really huge. I think I was told a couple weeks ago by someone on the team that there was a recent study that showed that in a lot of the LLMs, when you're, asking questions and it's scraping out on the internet, those answers are coming from like Reddit and Wikipedia. And you're certainly not going to be like, oh, I need to know what's legally compliant here. I'm going to go to Reddit. Like that's not going to be your first stop. So certainly we use web sources as well, but it's through the lens of our experience and our in-house knowledge too. So you can trust it. And that's really the big differentiator.
Right. Sure. When you think about the broader organization and the stakeholders as far as some of the AI work that you're doing, how how is that sort of shaped? Do you have, cross discipline sort of committees that work with it? Is it really your partnership with not just your team, but IT and business leaders? Like how's that?
So it's really interesting. So we kind of have two sides of the house. So we have our EOR business, and there's a whole HR operations team that works with those employees. We call them professionals. And then there's the HR team that I oversee, which is for the internal employees. So the people who are actually doing the GP work. And a lot of that compliance knowledge really sits on the HR operations team because they're the in-country specialists. It's more focused there. It's a much larger population of people being supported. So a lot of the foundation started there. We have an incredible employment law team. So it started with them. And then we started to get pulled in as the voice of the customer, but also how do we take this information to the next level? So it's one thing to go in and get information that, okay, here's what we have to do for vacation in Germany, here's what we have to do in Italy, here's what we have to do in France. It's one thing to get all that information, but then how should you think about that if you are in a global company, multiple locations? Rather than having one-off policies in each of these countries, how do you, frame a set of guiding principles so that you can say, this is how overall we want to treat employees. This is our overall philosophy around time off. And then how you fit these specific things into that to make sure that it's more all-encompassing. So more around that best practices of, okay, what do I do with this information that Gia just gave me? And it's there's a lot more with that now.
That's great. When we talked about being like this employer of record, one of the things I noticed about Gia is it's able to understand the sort of like legal relationship with the company, right? So you can have the right sort of privacy and cybersecurity, controls within that. Only reveal data that this professional would be privy to. So I imagine that could get even more important as we think about our talent ecosystems and pulling people in with that do have different relationships, whether this person's a contractor, this person's a consultant, there's people in and out of systems, and we just need to have the right sort of mechanisms of control there.
Yeah, it's super important. And I think just even knowing that the debt, if you're uploading your own policies, your company's policies into it, or employment contracts into it, that data is safe and secure. You're not just uploading it out there into ChatGPT for anyone to be able to access eventually.
Right. Okay. No, that's great. The GP verified, was that something that pre-existed? Like, was that before GIA, or was that just sort of coincided with GIA to make sure that people do have the confidence in?
Yeah, it was
responses from
built.
data?
It was built into GIA
Okay.
as part of that to really show that this isn't the same as going to ChatGPT or Gemini or any of those tools. This is really verified information that you can trust.
Excellent. The way in which you've sort of communicated all of this to your professionals, how have you helped everyone across GP recognize the value that this is bringing, and I guess quell any concerns about, displacement? Like, how have you framed it such that you are augmenting what your people are capable of and thinking about that?
So there's some different products with GIA. So we have GP Assist, which is what is built into the EOR platform. So that's what a customer or a professional would see, and that's really helping them through the user interface of the platform where they're onboarding, offboarding, that sort of thing. And that's very different because the EOR side of the house is just a very different model for that. GPGIA, which is separate from that, the agentic piece, the agentic product, that would be for HR teams at a company that may not have EOR. You
Okay.
could have both, or you might only have one. But internally, we're an AI company, so we did what a lot of companies did, which is, everybody needs to use AI as part of their job. We also acknowledge that looks different for everyone, the amount that you need to use it, what you need to use it for. And so we really immediately jumped into action. We formed an internal AI council with the chief technology officer, and we really focused on enablement and a policy that we actually started reviewing it like every other month because everything changes so quickly.
Yep.
It's hard to keep up. And it has a structured way so that people know we're encouraging people to go out there and find tools to use, but we also don't want everyone bringing in all these tools with no oversight around security. So
Yep.
they know how to get these tools approved, but we make sure that it's easy to approve it. There's not a lot of bureaucracy in it. We want them to use it. So we're looking for how do we make it work for them. We have Slack channels that are dedicated to it so people can go in and talk about how they're using AI.
Okay.
And it's really, we really stress that you're not going to lose your job to AI is the people who don't know how to use AI. You need to know that it can help make you better, help make you smarter.
Yeah.
And the other thing I like about it is, I think people, it's important that your job in some way, amplifies your own life. It makes your own life better. And
Right.
I think there's so much out there right now around AI that what you learn in the workplace about AI, everything from how to use it to how to be discerning and apply that critical thinking on what to put in, not put in, or if what you're looking at is this AI or is this real? So I think that when companies really double down on education and enablement around I think it's just helping everyone process through all this change better because it's just so overwhelming.
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree. I'm a huge advocate for pretty much exactly what you just described, which is you've got to understand how your talent is going to use it. What are the specific use cases that make sense for that role, for that domain, and get people comfortable. It sounds like you've got these Slack channels where people can recognize, other people have some knowledge to share and share your experiences. It's great that you're treating them like adults.
Well, that's the huge thing. They are. And we've got a great, obviously we've built a great AI product, so we have great AI talent and they love talking about it. They're so enthusiastic about it. So having them do office hours and prompting classes, things like that. We even have AI awesomeness awards. So they have like certain categories and we're continually giving those out through our recognition platform and things like that to really, really encourage it. But the people who know the most about AI really love it and they love geeking out on it and they just want to talk to people about it a lot. So I think every organization should find who those people are.
I absolutely agree. Yeah, I mean, I find it similar in the broader space as far as like finding your community, finding people who are willing to give their time and their expertise to help uplift others. Yeah, I think that's huge. I mean, there's still plenty of people who are apprehensive about using it, and obviously you've got issues around, the hallucinations. How do I know I can trust it? It's not, manipulating me in some way. It can kind of go off the rails if you're not careful. But it seems like you guys are taking the pretty much the opposite approach,
Yeah.
making sure the controls are in place and things like that. Oh, that's great. So what's next? What's next for Gia?
Well, we're launching today, so I
Awesome.
encourage everyone to check it out. And we have a 30-day free trial, so you've got nothing to lose.
Right.
So you might as well give it a try.
Yeah.
And the thing that's so exciting about Gia is it's so great already, but there's so much more we're going to be able to do. Even just the most recent demo that my team had at an internal meeting, they've already reached out to the product team with, well, you know what, we could do this, we could do this, we could do this. So it's just continually evolving. I think like with any platform now or with any, especially around AI, it's just going to keep doing more and more. So there's always going to be something to look forward to, but I would really encourage people to take advantage of the free trial and check it out.
Yeah, perfect. Excellent. Well, Laura, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
taking some time out of the conference to
Thank you.
speak with me and shed some light on Gia for the
Yeah.
listeners. Yeah, congrats on the launch, and sounds like you guys are doing things the right way. So appreciate that.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great talking to you.